Scooby-Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. If we can count on you, Scooby-Doo, I know we'll catch that villain.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Now, I just got one quick important announcement before I begin. Even though at this time Scoob is already out on Prime and other streaming services except for Netflix and Hulu, I'm still going to be uploading some Scooby stuff in this channel. But I will be finishing the Scoob preparation takeover with 2 episodes of Cooking with Manny so I could get myself prepared for tonight. So folks, enjoy our look back at the costume evolution of Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Scooby-Doo is said to be one of the most popular Hanna-Barbera characters of all time, with countless movies and TV shows. Which, by the way, now that I have the time right now, Scoob has released today, although the takeover is still continuing. But in terms of reviews of Scoob, surprisingly, it didn't do so well. As you can tell here, but the critics, the audience on the other hand is good. Critics, well, crap. But good or bad movie, I'm still gonna watch this goddamn movie, even if it murders me. Anyways, at this video, we're going to be talking about the walk-around costume evolution of Scooby-Doo, and yeah, this costume throughout the years. It all starts in 1970 in this theme park called Coney Island, I believe. I'm not sure where this theme park takes place or where it is, but I can definitely know for sure that, well, this was the Scooby costume was produced. After Scooby-Doo, Where Are You was premiered in 1969, a year later, Coney Island has got the license to Scooby-Doo and has some appearances, which this costume looks freaking creepy. With tiny, tiny, tiny little eyes and a huge head. It just looks so weird. Yeah, it looks weird. However, in the 1980s, that's the year when Hanna-Barbera Land was open, this was the Scooby costume was premiered. And yet again, it still looks weird. And I mean weird this time because, yeah. Now this part was a hard one because there wasn't as much footage and pictures of this one, so this was hard. However, on the same decade, 1980, or I think the 90s, I believe, they debuted this costume. Now, I'm not gonna lie right now, but this costume actually looks pretty good. And this is a pup named Scooby-Doo costume, as you could probably tell right now. It looks detailed, actually. Even though it's still simple, this is a highly detailed version in the 90s, I think. Or I don't know when was this costume made. But I know this costume right here was made in 1990 when Universal Studios Florida was open for the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera. Now, this costume, unlike the other ones, it was higher quality with like a bigger suit, bigger gloves, and a open, like a cool looking head with the eyes wiggle. And he made a short cameo in a special we all probably forgot about that did take place at Universal Studios Florida. It was called Kids for Character. Yeah, most people don't know about this, including myself. But in 2000, like in the early 2000s, I believe, this Scooby costume was debuted, and honestly, it looks better than the other Scooby costumes you've seen so far. Again, it still has that simple costume, like the bodysuit with the smaller gloves, but overall, this costume looks looking good. Now, in these set of commercials, he's been seen with other Cartoon Network characters like Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, well, basically Dexter, Fred Flintstone, and Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. Now, these were all only from the Christmas commercials, which not many people talk about. during King's Island I think in 2003, this was a Scooby costume has debuted. And, I don't know about this one, as a matter of fact. I don't know about this one. I mean, the bodysuit and all looks pretty good, and the gloves are kind of upgraded, but the head, however, was kind of the main problem with this costume. It kind of feels like a soft plushy mascot character. And as also you can tell by the snout and the actual face itself, the fur color was kind of mixed, actually. It was mixed. And the eyes were kind of separate from the, and the ears doesn't look good. So, yeah, this costume was a definite hit and miss. I don't know about this one. In fact, this was premiered from 2003 all the way till, I believe, 2009, when Paramount Pictures became Cedar Fair. However, Six Flags took the risk on making a Scooby costume, and it looks phenomenal. I mean, Six Flags, used to know as the Looney Tunes, they made the Scooby costume look like the actual cartoon itself. Yet again, it still has the simple, plain old bodysuit of the costume with bigger feet, and gloves are again upgraded, but the head is where all the action's at, by the way. The head, it just looks so cartoony, which it's so good because they made it in the from the actual cartoon. Now, at some points, though, with this Scooby costume, it did have a few minor changes here and there. For example, Warner Brothers Movie World, like with the pupils, were all like I don't know how do I describe it, like all over the place, and the bodysuit and all was shinier compared to Six Flags. So, nice little fun little thing there. Well, other than that, the costume stayed the same. However, Universal didn't like that costume, so they made their own costume, which looks a little more higher quality, though. Now, this one, again, is shiny, with bigger hands, this time, bigger feet, and a much more detailed head and bodysuit and all. So this costume was pretty good, actually. And the tag, this SD tag, looks a lot better, by the way. So yeah, this costume, it looks pretty good. However, in recent years, that costume was changed dramatically and has this costume, which this looks way better. This can also be seen at Warner Brothers World in Abu Dhabi, outside of the United States, and Universal Studios Florida and Hollywood. So yeah, this is the current Scooby-Doo costume, which you can see in Florida and Hollywood. But in Broadway numbers, Scooby has an interesting amount of costumes. Sorry about that. And the bodysuit was almost the same, but the head was all over the place. I know they're trying to replicate the Six Flags version, but it wasn't really good. However, to make things matters worse, in 2001, I believe, they have this costume of Scooby, and it looks freaking ugly, freaking creepy. I don't know what else to describe it. It's just creepy, man. It's really creepy. This costume was very short-lived. This costume wasn't good. However, I don't know which year this was or the name of this play, but they have a Broadway show of Scooby-Doo, which they literally copied the Six Flags version. And, they kept it, and I loved it. So, yeah. Overall, this Scooby costume right here was a weird one. Especially this one. I don't know which this Scooby costume was made, or what's it for, but this one's definitely the weirdest. And to make matters even more worse, actually, there's got to be a better way for this. You know what? I'm bringing it in.
You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby... Oh my goodness!
Now it looks like an actual dog. I mean, just look at this thing. It's too furry, the eyes are very small. They're trying to make it look like a for real dog, even though Scooby-Doo is a cartoon character. He first premiered in, I believe it's called Lost of the... Yeah, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it. But this costume is the current, the Broadway number Scooby-Doo that you can still see. Which, I'm not a fan of this, but this one looks pretty ugly. With tiny little eyes, this one looks bad. I'm not a fan of this one. If you are, that's great. I'm personally not. So that's gonna do it for the costume evolution of Scooby-Doo. And yeah, he had an interesting amount of costumes, especially the ones from the early days. But overall, this has been a massively interesting one. So which Scooby costume was your favorite? For me, personally, you all probably know about this right now, but I'm gonna go with the Six Flags version of Scooby because it just looks like the actual cartoon character of Scooby. It's really good. I love this one. But I still want to know which one's your favorite. Talk in the comments. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. And I'm gonna see you on my next one.